Hey guys, welcome back. Today we got a new car on my channel. This is a 2016 Mazda 3. This is the touring trim level. So this particular one is the middle trim level. It is equipped with the base engine, the 155 horsepower, and the 6-speed automatic. You can get this car with a more uprated motor. You can get a 2.5 liter, which comes in a Grand Touring, and it has an extra 30 horsepower for a total of 185. You could also get equipped with a 6-speed manual. In terms of design, I gotta say the 2016 is a really sharp looking car. It has good looking fog lights, a really nice looking accented front grille, nice looking lenses and optics. The wheels on this model are not the largest. This is just the touring model. You can't get the Grand Touring with the larger rims, but I actually do prefer the smaller diameter rims because they do provide a softer ride. After driving this car on the highway for a pretty long amount of time and some city driving, I do gotta say that it is fairly rough in my opinion. So the suspension is tight. There's no kind of weird harsh noises or anything, but it really is just kind of a rough ride. You feel all the expansion joints. In terms of wind noise, I would say there's a good amount of wind noise. It is not the quietest car that you would expect. In terms of space, it's actually fairly roomy inside, although I do feel like the cabin is fairly far in the back. As you could tell, the front of this car, just in terms of design reasons, it's kind of really flat in the front right here where the grille is. It's cut off. Pretty nice looking design in terms of my opinion. But the engine here just takes up a whole bunch of space, and it's not the fact that it's a large engine. It's only a 2-liter Skyactiv system, which is fairly economical. But the design itself really is just meant kind of for the front passengers. So I'm going to open up the rear of this car. You guys could see it's fairly well kind of carpeted there, but it is not the largest amount of storage you'll ever see. So it's a pretty good amount, but the load floor is a little bit on the high side. As you could tell right here, even it has these little pockets. It's raised. Under here we have the spare tire. Show you guys the tire. So nothing to see here, basically a standard donut type design. We have some tools right here and a foam. No sound insulation, which is really what I would have preferred to see. So you have the standard 60/40 flip seats. This is the rear of the car. Fairly good looking. You have these pretty nice looking dual chrome tips, although the exhaust itself is actually just a single pipe. Alright guys, here's the key. We have this keyless entry, pretty standard what you would expect. You have open, close, and something else here. So we're going to start the car, take a look around. So as I get in the car, the actual seating height is pretty good. The car is a fairly low riding car, but the seat itself has a good amount of space, I guess, from the floor. You could tell my knees, although they do kind of come off from the seat, it is not the worst I've ever seen. In Hondas, usually your legs are just like this because the seats are on the floor. So the seating position is fairly comfortable. The steering wheel is nicely padded. It has a nice soft leather material. What else can I say? So the steering wheel itself, really good looking. You have these kind of cool carbon accents right here. You have this nice Mazda logo. You have a whole bunch of buttons. You have this nice aluminum piece right here. I think this is real aluminum. As I touch it, it's kind of cold to the touch. You have this nice red stitching, which kind of adds a little bit of an appeal to the vehicle. Although, other than, I guess, some of these other parts, the red stitching is not anywhere on the seats. It would have been nice to see a little bit on the seats, but that's what we have here. Alright guys, I'm about ready to start the car up. We're just gonna depress the brake and push this start stop button, which is really well hidden behind basically all of this. So as you're driving, you never even see it. The car is on. You could tell by this tiny little tachometer here on the left. Car idles very smoothly and quietly, I must say. Barely can't even discern whether the engine is on or not. But I would have really liked them to push this pretty cool looking start stop button a little bit somewhere else, because you could tell from my direction, this is basically where my head is right now. I can't even see it. It's basically all the way outside of my field of view, and I really like to look at it in cars. It's one of the nicest things, I guess, when they developed the start-stop button in a Nissans and some other vehicles. Really was kind of the selling point for this technology. In terms of the interior design, it's fairly nice. This is a touchscreen, although it is not operable when driving. While driving, you have to use this system right here, which is basically kind of similar to the BMWs, where you have this kind of, I guess you could call it a joystick material. As you could tell, I'm going this way and this way. So that's basically what it is. This car does not have nav, although it says nav here. So I'm pressing it and it says, your Mazda is not equipped with a navigation system. So that's that. You have home, which basically has a whole bunch of stuff here. We have some applications. We have some HD radio traffic map, which apparently loads somehow. It is accurate. I have been able to verify, but sometimes it glitches just like this, or it takes a while. But the traffic is accurate. I did verify it with Google Maps previously. In terms of fuel economy, actually, that's where this car is incredible. I'm going to put some clips in here while you guys are watching this video. Some clips I took while driving this car. So at basically a 70-mile speed in 6th gear, this car is at around 2,000 RPM, which is really, really low for a 4-cylinder, hatchback car. And at the time, I was pretty loaded with the AC on with 4 people in the car, and I achieved, not in this video you'll see it, but I was basically a little bit over 40 miles a gallon almost all the time. So let's just take a look at what else we got in this car right here with some of the features and the applications. And we have a fuel economy monitor, and you can tell this is kind of the history of the drives here. So the average fuel economy, you could tell, currently I had 41.6. Now this is at 70 miles an hour with the air conditioning on and 4 people in the car with a lot of luggage. So that's pretty fantastic. But this car has a good amount of get up and go. I gotta say, the transmission shift's really smooth. It's 6-speed manual, well, automatic with manual mode right here on the left. Drives pretty nice. So for the rear passengers, it is not horrible. It has a good amount of space. I haven't compared this with the sedan version of this car, but I personally think the hatchback is the way to go. You kind of have a good amount of back space, some okay luggage space, and I personally like the design of the hatchback myself. This armrest right here, you can tell it's designed, it's kind of similar of what BMW does. Now it's fairly comfortable, because I have my arm on here like this, but really when it's too short for when you're driving a long distance and you really can't hold the wheel like this. Your hand naturally just wants to lay here on the shift knob, which is a comfortable, nice, bulky, chunky shift knob. But personally, when you're driving, I find myself at highway speeds constantly holding the wheel like this with both arms all the time. So imagine driving like this for 2 hours. Fairly uncomfortable. The bottom here, you do not want to put your fingers here. It's not comfortable. The best case scenario is to hold it like this. But once again, this armrest is really narrow. You can tell my elbow is basically all the way on the corner. And the armrest, if you're thinking it's soft and padded, well, I got to tell you, it is not. It's fairly rough, not comfortable at all. But it does open up nicely. You have a good amount of space here, basically what you would expect. In terms of connectivity, this car has it all. So you have 2 USB inputs, you also have an SD, and you have an auxiliary. And the Pandora works really well. You have music streaming through your phone, hooks up pretty well. You have Bluetooth, everything, but there is no CD player. So I gotta tell you, I miss CD players in cars. So I don't know if that's a common thing with new vehicles, but I really do miss the CD player. So this particular model is not the highest trim level, but it does have pretty good sound. I know a little bit about speakers myself, but the sound is fairly good in terms of the bass and the treble and the highs and lows. They're fairly well adjusted, and I guess the sounds are pretty good. You can hear. I'm gonna put a little bit of the music on, and that's about it. Let's see, another channel. So in order to change the presets, you have to kind of use the selector knob. We'll go to favorites, and I have a couple preset here. I'll mute it. So it's pretty good sound. Let's see what else is on. So not bad. The volume knob is really small, and I gotta say, compared to this one, it's just obnoxiously small. So this one goes left, right, down, up, in, all those functions. You have back and you have your favorites.